right, this is David C. Johnson. I'm here in town in St. Louis with the Aaron Neville Quintet, and you are watching Jross-tv. We love some J. Ross. He's the man.
Oh yeah.
Hardest working man.
What's up,
James?
What's up, y'all? Hanging out with my boy Dave in town, like he said, with Aaron Neville. Y'all getting ready to tear it up tonight here in St. Louis. But like once again, you know, we got to get conversations with the top cats in the industry, y'all.
Wow.
Now, first of all, we see him holding a 5-string Fender Jazz Deluxe.
5-string. Now you know the difference between the 5 and the 4, right?
No, I don't. Tell me.
1 string.
I don't. Hey, so let me ask you this now. You a Fender, that's your weapon of choice?
Well, there's no gig that you can't play a Fender on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no style of music that you can't use a Fender on. So it's just, if you got to carry one bass, it's got to be a J bass or a P bass, baby. You can get it done on either two. You know, if you got to play ballads, if you got to slap, do whatever, they handle it all. It just makes it easy.
So now, when you first started out, was it Fender all the way, or what you start off with growing up?
Man.
Give us some background on the upbringing.
I started playing bass in 1979. 1979. I started out with a Sears bass, man, a little short scale, little one pickup, it was a copy of a copy of a copy somewhere, bass somewhere. I was about 11 years old, started playing with a band on my street, all the fellas on the street, they all played a little something, we got together in the basements to start playing. So, you know, and then from there, age 12, started gigging, started gigging in nightclubs when I was 13.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, and, you know, from there, just gigging, going to school, dropped out of school. Young ones don't drop out of school, finish school.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that you're going to make it, but I knew very young in life that I was going to be a musician. Even before I played an instrument, when I was 4 years old, I was so enamored by listening to music on the radio and on the stereo that I knew I was going to be a musician. I started playing piano when I was about 5 years old. Then I switched over to bass when I was about 11 and just kind of been rolling that way ever since. Playing in clubs and stuff in Detroit. I moved down to Florida, Fort Myers, Florida in 1989. Started playing with the Detroit-based band down there, and I've been living down there ever since. I'm based out of Fort Myers, Florida. Play the Southwest Florida area, doing shows and gigs and stuff like that. Doing a one-man gig down there right now where I play bass, guitar, and keyboards. The David Johnson Show.
At the same time?
Well,
I mean, simultaneously.
Well, yeah, it's all based around. I've got a Triton that I use.
Right. And
I do all my own arrangements, all my own sequences, and I play live instruments along with it.
Right, I got you.
Mainly I'm playing live bass and singing, or, you know, and then I'll unmute the bass track, put the bass down, take the guitar up, take a solo, whatever.
Oh, I got you.
Keys.
No, I thought you was talking about like they do in the circus where you had the cymbals on your knees and the...
No, man. I'm getting old, I ain't that old.
Yeah, so who were some of your heroes growing up when you first picked up bass?
Oh, Lord. Well, I'm from Detroit, so obviously Jameson was an influence.
Oh, yeah, the cat.
But, you know, when I was a baby, I remember my mom mainly listening to a lot of Aretha Franklin and Quincy Jones. So, you know, there, Chuck Rainey comes.
Oh, yeah.
But gosh, there's so many, man. I was thinking about this earlier. I said, man, there's so many cats and so many unsung cats that the young folks don't know about that they need to really check out.
Right.
Jamerson was one. Willie Weeks was another one. Donny Hathaway Live. If you don't own it, find it, get it, learn something. Brother Graham, which, you know, to me, Graham is on the Mount Rushmore of bass guitarists.
Right.
To me, there's 4 cats on Mount Rushmore of bass guitar.
Okay.
That would be Jamerson, Larry Graham, Stanley Clarke, Jaco Pastorius.
Oh, yeah.
These 4 cats paved the way for everybody. I don't care what area you from. It's these 4 cats, everybody else follows. That's my opinion. If y'all want to have a forum on that, that's cool. But I just think that's where I stand with that.
Well, let me ask you this. In your opinion, with Larry Graham and Jaco was a whole nother direction.
Yeah, but he was one of the 4 cats that I mentioned that changed the scope of bass, how we look at bass, how it was played. I mean, nobody cared about a bridge pickup on the jazz bass before he started using it. Nobody cared about playing a fretless bass. Hardly anybody played fretless bass before Jaco, except maybe Slash Stone. Sly played a fretless precision bass on a lot of them on the sliding family songs. A couple of other cats, but you know, he was the cat for fretless. He had his own tone, he had his own voice. He was like the Charlie Parker of bass.
Right.
Both in his innovation and his tragedy, you know.
Yeah, so who else are some of the unsung folks you got written down?
Oh, Lord,
let's talk about.
So many, man. Well, Wilton Felder.
All right.
From the Crusaders,
right.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Jackson 5, Barry White. A lot of cats don't realize that on some of them early Barry White tunes, it's Wilton Felder. It's Wilton Felder, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the West Coast Motown cat. You know?
Hey, before we go further, let them cats know what you're playing out of. They're gonna be like, man, his amp suck.
Oh, you know what? This is what I call the hotel room setup.
Okay.
I got my bass running through. I got a Zoom B2.1U effect unit.
Okay.
Which I call my bad rig fix when I'm on the road, because you know when you're using rental gear, sometimes you get a great rig, sometimes you get a not so great rig.
Right.
It keeps the sound consistent, and you get a good sound going out to the board. But I got it plugged into my iPod speaker,
Yeah.
just so I can hear myself a little bit.
Oh.
So I'm
So you won't be using that in concert tonight?
No, sir. No.
Once again, y'all hanging out with my boy Dave. Y'all, he giving some education on some of the old school stuff and the new school stuff. Yeah. So we're gonna keep on and talk to him. Hear about somebody else you got down there.
Oh man, it's so many. And these are all the cats coming up that I listen to, like all the session bass players and all the bass heroes of back in the day. Wilton Felder was one. Paul Jackson with Herbie Hancock.
Oh, you know? Yeah.
Another smoking finger funk player, man. I mean, young cats listen to Headhunters, listen to Thrust, listen to Man Child. Them albums, man, no joke. Listen to Mr. Hands. I mean, the cats.
Hey, so let me ask you this, Dave. Do you think the young guys now they don't really get off into stuff like that anymore? Is it slipping past?
They should, because what they don't realize is all the new stuff that they think they playing. It ain't nothing new. It's all the old stuff. So you might as well go back to the horse's mouth and check that out, because when they were doing it, they were changing music as they were coming in contact with it. They were innovators. These were the original cats. And you know, you can learn something from the way that because all them cats back in the day, they were all players. They weren't programmers, they weren't samplers.
Right.
They were all playing this stuff, and it was all done usually in one take on an old Fender bass with flat wound strings on it through an old amp like a B15 or something like that. But they still had an incredible tone, man, and it had incredible groove. And you know, to me, if you go back to these cats, if you can play what they were playing, you can play anything.
Yeah.
Paul Jackson was one. Ronnie Baker, a cat from Philly, from Sigma Sound Studios. You know, all OJ stuff, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Yeah.
Hey, look, all this stuff. Ronnie Baker, Teddy Pendergrass, all that. Turn out the lights, light a candle. Just all that stuff like that, man. You know, cats today are getting all that stuff from all them old school cats who don't even realize it. They don't know who those cats' names were.